What is going on, party people in the place to be? Up in here, you already know it's your boy Ace of Cross Culture, back with another one. ATAS episode 74. Yeah. You know, I know that my co-host, you know, he's gonna bring more energy, more bass, more fire. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead, hit him off.
It's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS. Can y'all hear me? I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me because I can't even hear me. We did a sound test. We always do a sound test, but today the sound is testing me. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Oh, just trying to get into the groove of things. That groove, real nice. Yeah. So we got anybody out there listening with us today? I don't see anybody in the comment section. I'm actually surprised.
Interesting. Okay, I got sound over here. What am I heard on?
All right. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. We got two checking in. Look, we're gonna have to give my boy over here a sound because he was first. He said, "What's good? What's good out there?"
Yes, sir.
We got, of course, WPL checking in with us.
Yeah. For Jehudi. I got WPL, and we're supposed to be on first. How about that?
We're gonna have to come up.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. We're out here swinging. All right. So, I didn't even change the banner for this episode. Uh-oh. It's bad. Yeah,
okay.
we're on chapter 6 of Disrupting the Game by Reggie Fils-Aimé.
I felt like saying Yuval Noah Harari.
Oh,
just his name properly, right? It's like, why?
There's an issue there.
All those
Can't be doing all that.
They can be solved across time and space.
You already know.
Delicious. What's in your cup?
Nothing this week.
Oh, no.
Nothing's in the cup this week. Got that old agua boogie.
There you go.
I gotta get it.
I transferred mine to the cup before we started instead of working on my audio. I want to hear how it sounds after. You can't fix some of those things in the post edit. It's just like, nah, man. If I sound real far away, folks know that I'm close at heart. All right.
Close at heart.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So let's get it, man.
Let's get it. So this chapter, the overarching thing that I saw, I mean, this is probably an overarching theme in the book, overcoming the trials set before you. But I felt like in this chapter, it was like real thick with just like issues and communication and not seeing eye to eye, and how do you get around these things? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Talk about a few of those things.
Ooh, that's a real good topic. That's timely because I read half another book this morning,
Half of another book. Dang.
Look. Check in the description down below where you can get your 2 months of script. All right, audiobook script. If you want to read the books, you can read them. If you want to do it the audio way, you can do it the audio way. If you want to listen to podcasts, you can probably find us there too. Right? But look, there's a really great book called "It Takes What It Takes."
It takes what it takes.
Right, and I just did that book on double speed.
Oh no, you're one of those.
I had to. It's just like no. And the thing is, I do believe in taking your time and reading text. That's one way to read it. But another way that we learned back in high school, folks, right? Maybe some folks learned and other folks didn't. But it's really important to actually go through things about 7 times, 7 passes, right? Mm-hmm. The first pass is like you skimming over the whole thing to get the broad idea. Another pass, you look at the first line of each paragraph. Shout outs to Jehudi. You reminded me of that last night, bro. Yeah. You reading headlines, subheaders. Now, I mean, like it's a different type of reading that you're doing. You look into the end of the chapter. If it was a textbook, you're looking at the questions at the end and trying to find the answers. If you speed reading through it and then you realize, I still have some questions, I'm not quite sure what this meant. Now you're going back to look for those answers. And another way to do it is intensive reading, where you take your time, make sure you understand everything before you move on to the next paragraph. There's a whole different way of reading. And by going through it, those different ways, taking notes so that you're not just like, all right, I don't understand this time. Let me just reread it right here. Like you may find that you don't get through the whole text doing it that way that first time. And it's okay for you not to understand something in its entirety the first time. It takes several passes. It takes processing. And for me, like, a speed read and then to go back with a slow read or go back looking for something specific makes sense because I'm doing it 3 times. And that's how I digest.
Yeah, I mean, then the way that you're explaining how to do it, your reading comprehension and retention, those are the most important things, because people are like, oh yeah, I want to read the Bible through in a year. It's like, yeah, okay, but what did you learn? I learned how to read the Bible through in a year. It's like, yeah, you didn't retain anything. You just did it to say, yeah, I did it in a year. But if nothing sticks with you, and that goes for all different types of you're reading a novel, whether it be for fun or whether it be for, training stuff for work, or if it be school, you're going to have to retain something. You want to be able to say, oh, this book was trash because, or this book was great because, this training module was horrible because, or, hey, I'm going to need these answers for this essay that I have to write on this paragraph or this short story or this text in the textbook. You're going to need to retain something.
Yeah. And the thing is, as an adult, you don't really know what to retain. Sometimes like, you're reading through the thing. Like, I know I've been there too. Like, all right, somebody said this is a great book. I just go in and read it, like slowly, on the train, between stops, or in the parking lot when I'm waiting for somebody. It's like, all right, so what was I supposed to get from all of this? There's a supposed to get, there's a what that person was talking about, what the author's really trying to say. There's a whole lot of different ways of thinking about it, but the important point is to be active in it. Like, get those critical thinking skills like rolling, right? And what can I do with this thing? So what can we do with chapter 6?
What we can do with chapter 6 is apply it to life. The first thing I'm going to talk about is, do you prefer difficult or easy things in life? So growing up, video games, huge part of life. And I started noticing that when I want to play a video game, I'll set it on easy. Set it on easy so that I can, just blow through it, But later on in life, it's like, why am I going to set it on easy? I need to set it on the hardest difficulty and just muddle it through and just do everything that way. So I've digested both ways, but what I want to hear is your take on, do you prefer things easy or do you prefer things hard? But another way to look at this is chess or checkers.
Ooh, I like the first question more than the second, because I think it links back to what we were just discussing about reading. Right? There's easy reading and there's intensive reading. And I think that both of them serve a different purpose. And there's a good time to like, all right, if you're playing the game on easy, then you're going to get the whole story, right? If you play the game on hard, then you're going to push yourself to your limits as far as like patience, right? And you might lose the story. Like, how many times you die in Zelda? It's just like, all right, what was the storyline again? Like, where was I? What was I supposed to be doing?
What was I doing? Yeah.
Man, like, like you're trying to follow this guy through his story, and people don't die several times when they're going through life. Like, they don't. Like, they go through a hard thing, they don't die. Right? So, yeah.
True.
It kind of ruins the story a little bit. Chess or checkers, though. I'm a chess man. And I was thinking about Age of Empires 2 when I was playing. No, last time I was playing Age of Empires 2, I was thinking about chess. Because
you were just playing this week.
I was just playing yesterday. All right.
Yeah, I saw you on, and I was like, dang, I ain't even got time to jump in.
But you sent me a voice message on something.
Yeah, I sent you a voice message on Microsoft. So I think on the computer it's called like Microsoft Game Chat or something like that.
Okay.
So like game something. No, it's not in Steam at all.
Right. I couldn't find it in Steam. You're not one of my friends in Steam, but I saw the message from Densetsu. I was like, what? Where? And I looked over here in Google. I didn't see it. I was like, what? I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Ran up a look.
I think if you hold down Windows G, it'll bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite between chess or checkers?
So the thing about it is that when people compare the two, they automatically say like, oh yeah, chess is for grown people that like to develop strategy, and checkers is for little kids who don't know how to play anything else. But there's strategy in both. With chess, yes, that strategy does take a bigger turn, but there's still strategies in checkers. There's still different ways to play. There's still mind games to be had.
In checkers?
In checkers, yes. Believe it or not.
Hold on. Let's take it to the end of the game. Like
to end game?
No, I mean, so in checkers, unless you make a mistake, a dumb mistake. I mean, do you play the type of checkers where you have to take the other person's piece if they present it to you?
I don't. Well, my father played that way, and
that's the rules. Those are the rules. Yeah.
But the thing is that he would even take a piece, even if I jumped another piece on this side of the board. He would like, oh well, you didn't jump me here, so it's like that's not fair. Like I literally can't do both moves at the same time. Like, yeah. So that type of thing.
That forcing the person to take pieces. Well, okay, now that does translate to chess too. There is the impasse move, where you go past the other pawn. If you went past the other pawn, you weren't you're supposed to take it, but you didn't. Then they can just take it. It's called a move called the impasse, and a lot of folks around the way don't really know that move. So, yeah, if you follow the rules, then it's a different game. Yeah.
I mean, I found out that there's even a way to take a pawn from straight on.
What?
Yeah, there's a legal way to take a pawn from straight on, like no diagonal, straight on, head to head. You can take a pawn, and I was like, "Yo, this makes no sense," because
that's not the impasse move. I think it sounds familiar.
I mean, I don't know, because this is not passing. This is like head to head, like same line.
Yeah,
like your pawn, my pawn, and then you're face to face, and I can still take your pawn and then continue on forward. Yeah.
Speaking of pawns being taken, the youngest 8-crown champion of Japanese chess was just crowned.
Shogi.
Yeah.
Yo.
Shogi, yeah. What's his name?
Shogi is crazy.
Fuji Sota.
Of course it's Fuji, because there's no more Japanese name than Fuji. Like.
Yeah, bar none. Like that Fuji means not number 2. That's another meaning for the word Fuji. Like not number 2.
So like Fu, like the old counting, and then G like Janai. I'm guessing.
No. Fu as in not, like negative.
Fu is negative?
Yeah, like it's like there's a line and there's a.
Oh gosh.
All right, no, it's a line and two, like a point, and up to okay, there's a line right here and an arrow pointing up to it, and it means no, like no, you cannot go past this line. You know,
that's crazy.
That's foo, and then G would be two. So there's two readings.
That's
of the word,
funny.
The word for two, there's G, there's ni, there's futa, and so on.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like when you're counting items,
Right.
futats.
No.
Yeah. And I was thinking jinai, like the negative.
No.
Janai. Oh, janai, not jinai. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. So after I'm getting schooled, nah.
No. I mean, the comment section also said the same thing. Chess for the win. Chess for the win.
Just for the win.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We got throwing on a little chess love.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna jump a little bit because one of the things that came out in this chapter was the need for a good boss. And it's been a very long time since I've had a bad boss, but the different qualities and leadership styles denotes whether the person is a boss or a leader. Yeah. And that's something I feel like that needs to be talked about a little bit, because often when you go to work and you're like, oh yeah, you know, my boss said this, or, you know, my boss said that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just say, okay, you know, my boss is my leader is my boss. But there's a completely different mindset to the two.
That's true.
A good leader knows what to do, but the best leaders know why it's done. It goes beyond the surface level to, okay, I can ask the people under me to do this, but are they going to want to do it, or is it going to be too much for them? Thinking of those things beyond just like, hey, it needs to get done, so I said it, therefore it needs to get done. You know? Yeah.
I'm dying to jump on that because I've had two people that I can look to as leaders recently, and one was my former boss. But the idea of like my current boss is a boss, not a. I mean, he's the leader, but he feels more like a boss in his leadership style. But he said something the other day that has actually inspired, or like I saw his the type of stimulus that it was putting on me in that book that I was reading this morning. You know, like it takes what it takes. Like he asked me very specifically to do a task. He didn't tell me why. He didn't like make me think about it or anything. It was like, you need to get this stuff together and give me specific numbers as to what your plan is and how to get this thing done by tomorrow, right? Or not tomorrow, but by Monday, right? And it was just like, oh, okay. Like, because he's a boss, I feel like I have to do it. If you're a leader, I think I would feel like I want to do it. Like I want to match his like expectations kind of thing. But as a boss, like I feel like it's more like a push from behind. Whereas leaders kind of pull you forward. Like they're pulling something out of you and you're like, I gotta go. Yeah? Okay,
I see.
Yeah. That's body language that y'all ain't gonna be able to figure out there on Spotify. But you know, it was like a rope. The leader is roping you in, where the boss is like he's got the horn to your back,
shoving you. Yeah. It's the whatever the stimulus. It's how you respond to it. So if you're responding to it in the sense that, well, dang, I got to get this done. Well, I guess I just got to do it. And you're feeling pushed versus saying, whoa, you know, I want to show that I can hang with the big boys. I want to show that I can meet the expectations. I want to show that, you know, I'm not just here to do the minimum.
Yeah. I want to impress this person as the leader.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to let that. Yeah. I don't want to let them down, you know? Yeah. But you know, it was really good. And it's a quick quote before we get into the next thing. But He said, and he didn't say it, but the books that I was reading to kind of get to where he is and get to that line was that you have to be aware of the past and be grounded in the present and be in control of your next behavior. That's what it means to have a neutral mindset. And I could see my current leader as having a neutral mindset. He's not overly optimistic. He's not stuck in the past, but he knows what happened, right? He's in neutral, so he can switch to that next gear. And he can push people to move to that next gear too. And I respect that.
So I know one of the things that came to mind when I was reading is what Tony Stark says in Iron Man 1. You know, right before he's kidnapped, he shoots off the Jericho, or before he shoots off the Jericho missile, there's a very iconic line that he says, "Is it better to be feared or respected?" And then he says, "Well, why not a little bit of both?" So that's kind of where a good leader kind of, you know, tiptoes on that line. It's like, yeah, he holds your job in his hand. Like, if you just say, you know what, they're not meeting expectations, I don't think that this is the right fit for them. I think that we should help them in their endeavors by letting them go from this position, which is basically saying, yeah, you're fired.
Yeah.
But it's the nicest way that anybody could say it.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's also supposed to try to earn your respect as a person. It was like, you know what? You have an emergency? Cool. You know what? We'll get somebody to cover. Don't worry about it. Take care of what you need to take care of. Versus saying, hey, no, your work isn't done yet. You got to stay. Now you're going to have to stay late. Being inflexible, you know, that's not what leaders are about. Being able to roll with the punches, that's what a leader is about.
Yeah. These dudes roll with the punches, boy. I'll tell you, there's some crazy things going on here in this industry. And I mean, I want to be there someday or be a better leader. I'm a leader where I am, you know, in my current position, but moving up, like you gotta learn how to deal with some things.
That's how it is.
Yeah, man.
So you were talking about being optimistic and, you know, going forward, and you know that your leader doesn't have super high hopes, super unrealistic expectations for the future.
He doesn't share them.
Delusions of grandeur. In this chapter, it was crazy that Reggie said that one of his leadership team said to him, like, you're too optimistic. Like you're just going at it. It's like you need to tone it back some. And I have seen that, like, kind of in the previous chapters, you know, kind of ramping up. It's like, okay, this guy's always like forward.
Yeah.
Like, it's never like, you know what, I can chill back a little bit. No, it's like, oh yeah, you know, I did what I had to do. I went to JRTC and then went to Ivy League, and then I finally bought an SNES, and you know, I'm working at it. You know, I was at this company, and I was like, I was changing everything that they did, and he gets now to a point where that formula that he had developed, I think it failed like I know it failed twice, but I think it might have failed 3 times in this chapter alone. He talks about 3 times where he was just like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna take Panda Express and make it a household name in the neighborhood. We're gonna have drive-through locations, and we're gonna do this because it needs to get done.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, we good.
Right. Reggie, calm down.
Calm down. You're making too much noise. You're making too much noise. Like,
everybody got time for that, right?
So Here now is the big question. It's like, how do you keep from having delusions of grandeur, but still have, this kind of driving force towards your goals that are, more even kilter, something that you can obtain, but not something that's handed to you. So this goes back to the first question: do you like things easy in life, or do you like them hard in life? But now we need to get to the normal setting. Like, how do we keep our expectations there, like for the future?
Well, I think it comes to goal setting. If you're looking at like 6 months from now, I'm gonna be a multimillionaire. I don't know.
I mean, if you already started 7 years ago, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, like what exactly is your plan to get there? Sometimes it helps to, set like short-term, mid-range, and long-term goals. Long-term being more like 5 to 10 years, mid-term being more like 3 to 5, short-term being like 1 to 3. All right, or within the next year or so. And then when you look at the year, you break it down even further. All right, you got 4 quarters or 4 seasons. Like, God was good to us like that. And like, you set things up. It's just easy to, break it down into parts. In the northern hemisphere, at least. So, all right, so you break it down and you say, all right, I got 4 quarters. All right, so what's your goal? I mean, for me and my organization, we have something called MITs. What's your most important task? Morst. What's your most important tasks? You need 4 or 5 of those. And you need to make sure those are in alignment with the company's corporate goal for the next year and year plus, right? So you're working with other teams and looking at the corporate goals and realize, are you in alignment with those or not? All right. So you need to set goals. So what's a smart goal for this quarter? How are you going to set some objectives in this quarter? And this is why you work with people who are also leaders as well, because one of the things about a SMART goal is SMART. A is agreed upon. So you need to have that agreed upon with somebody else that may not have delusions of grandeur, right? They've been in the game, the same industry with you. They've been a coach, or they may be a mentor or something like that. But it's somebody else that you're going to bounce your ideas off of, and they have to agree with what you're saying, right? You don't just get to set a goal by yourself. It has to be S, specific. It has to be M, measurable. Is your goal measurable in quantifiable terms, right? Specific, measurable, agreed upon, achievable is kind of connected to the R, the next R, which is realistic, and then time bound. So in a week, this is what I'm going to do, or per day, this is what I'm going to do, or and then you actually go out and do it.
Yeah.
All right. But
it doesn't make sense to set a goal if you're not going to try to get to that goal.
Well, in the beginning, people start off with these delusions of grandeur. That's natural, right? To be an enthusiastic beginner. And the next step, the next thing you go in situational leadership is this all those delusions, this disillusionment. That's what it was. Disillusion,
yes.
Yeah, where you realize that your competence is low and your motivation is low. You start off as an enthusiastic beginner, your competence is low, but your enthusiasm is high. So over the course of time, you actually give the thing a try and realize that your delusions your reality hits, and it's not nearly as marvelous as you imagine it would be. But you keep going, all right? And with proper coaching and proper, support, you get to that point where your confidence goes up as you try the thing and look back in measurable ways. You actually do get better at it, right? That angry feeling that you feel at the end of the night. Well, guess what? If you try the thing the next day, you're going to be better at it than you were the first day. All right. So you become more and more confident, and then your enthusiasm starts to come back up. And then you reach that 4th level where you can be delegated a task in that field, and you're relatively competent at it, and you're enthusiastic and you enjoy it. Right. So that's a SMART goal, SMART. And that's how you break through those delusions of grandeur.
Okay. Wow. Man, I'm out here learning. Like, I don't know about anybody else. I think that was for me, because I've been having a little trouble as of late with some of my goals in life, and I'm just like, dang, I got this elephant, and dang, I gotta eat it one bite at a time. But I'm trying to eat more than just one bite. I'm trying to get this thing done. But you got to be realistic. That's the big thing. Be realistic. Everybody just wants everything done, but it has to be realistic. I feel like the two biggest things for me, realistic and time bound, right there. Those are the two biggest ones. Yeah.
Time bound.
Time bound.
Time bound. That ain't no joke.
Yeah,
all right. Because they say you got 1 billion years, right? Or if you have infinite time, then a monkey can learn to type the Constitution. Infinite time.
They say if you have enough monkeys in one room with typewriters, then eventually one of them will type Shakespeare's. Like all of Shakespeare's works.
That's right. Dang. If you have enough time, right?
If you have enough time.
How much time is that? Yeah.
How much time is that? Yeah. Time. Across time and space.
I know. We like time. Actually, we're almost at the end of that time, folks. It has been a pleasure. And what's going on time, though? What's going on time?
Yo, big things coming through for time. Don't worry. Like I said, though, that realistic and time bound has been a little crazy for me, but got some great ideas. A lot of timely advice. How to spend incremental pieces of your time to have great results. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm the expert or anything. A lot of these come out of my mistakes, but I want other people to be able to learn from my mistakes, because I don't want you to have to make my mistakes to learn.
Welcome to mid-30s. Oh man. Oh, wait till you get here. There's gonna be so many mistakes. Man. You're gonna be like, yo, I need a podcast like every week.
Every week? Don't we have one every week? We're gonna get another one?
For good reason. I have so many mistakes to share. Oh goodness. Life is good.
Yeah. Life is good. And I feel like if I had half the knowledge that I have now, back then, it would be even better. But until next time, you already know what I say. Stay prayed up and be blessed. Yo, TPC, hit them off, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's all truth. It's all truth. Go ahead and get yourself a pen and pad and write it down. Write down those mistakes, on this paper. I got mine right here. All right, and we're gonna go over it in the what's it, behind the scenes BTS? Yeah,
BTS
in the BTS. I mean, he said stay prayed up. We prayed up, man. We prayed up before we start and after we finish. All right, so do it. Gotta, because that's what it is. Peace.